Good morning, happy Wednesday. I just think that we all need a good stretch from time to time, so I thought I would film a little stretch that hopefully you can give yourself a few minutes and go through today. So just find a comfortable spot on the floor, maybe on your mat, right onto your bum, feet flat, knees apart, and you're just gonna start warming yourself up here by letting your knees go side to side and just checking in with how that feels. We hold so much tension into the hips, into our lower back, into our shoulders, into our thoughts, and just taking a few minutes here to check in with how the body is feeling is just honestly like one of the best things that we can do to start to stretch ourselves out and feel better. Okay? Then we're going to drop our knees over to one side. You're going to allow the knee to come in front of the hip. So I've got right knee in front of left foot, not hip. So we've got the foot here, and then hands come on either side of that left knee. Sitting tall, lengthening up through the chest as much as it feels okay. Don't need to push it too much. We're in the beginning stages of the stretch. And then just start to wave yourself forward, down towards you're near the floor. And then tuck your chin round the spine as you come back up. Okay? I'm just going to do that a few times. I really like to go nice and slow initially to try and feel what's going on in my body. I often get a couple of little pops in the spine, the little cracks. I can feel what's happening in my right and left hip. The sensations are in different places. And that's normal because one leg is internally rotated, the other one is externally rotated. Rounding ourselves up and down. Then from here, we're going to rotate those hands a little further to the left. This top hip's going to open up a little bit more. Hands on either side. Same thing, waving yourself down and then rounding as you start to come up. Here I can start to feel it in my shoulder a little, the back of it, on this right side. Definitely into my lower back on the right side, right hip, and left as well. So this gets and touches upon a lot of parts into the body, which is the point. From here, you're going to rotate over a little further to the left even more, and let your elbow come down onto the floor. This should open up that right hip even more so that you get a stretch into the hip flexor as well. But again, this isn't about what it looks like. It's about what it feels like. So just start to move according to what feels good for you. Open up the chest, reach the arm, and then round it through underneath of your armpit. Feels pretty good. Open back up. And then reach your hand across the room, maybe onto the floor, maybe it stays up. It's up to you to where your range of motion is here this morning. Or whenever you do the video, you might do it later. Open up again, and then just let yourself go back and forth. If you like one more than the other, then feel free to just keep doing this one. Or if you like to go back and forth because the stretch gives little different parts of the body some space, then you do that. You do you with what feels good. Maybe you find a place that feels really nice to stay in. And just let that breath come in and out. Softening, bringing in space, connecting with yourself. And then open yourself back up. Bring yourself back onto your hips. Feet flat, knees go side to side. Okay, see how that feels if you notice any difference. And then rotate on over to the other side. Okay, so now the left knee's in front of the right foot. Hands are on either side of the knee. It'll likely feel different than it did on the other side. Rounding to lift up. And that's perfectly normal because we're never really symmetrical. And so we don't need to make it look the same as it did on the other side, but instead listen to the body and go with it the way that it wants to or what it needs. And the range may change as you continue to move through the motions. Okay, we'll move over, rotating over towards the right a little bit more, and then find that same wave, rounding and lifting, letting the chest go forward. Maybe there's a little extension in the spine, rounding up. And then same as on the other side, we'll open up a little bit further. Drop that elbow. So now right elbow's down onto the ground. Left hip is a little more open. Expanding up, arms reaching out. And then tucking as I drop and round, twisting through. Opening back up. And then reaching across the room, taking a lengthened stretch. Feels pretty good in the armpit there for me. Opening back up. And then going to where it feels good for you. Pause at any point. Give yourself a breath or two. Maybe let go of something that's feeling tense. Stay or wave as long as you'd like. Okay, come back to center. Let your knees go side to side. And I just find that giving ourselves a moment to have a stretch, to feel into our body. Everybody needs to stretch. Everybody needs to release. Everybody needs space and time for themselves. So I hope that you can use this and take a little bit of time out of your day for you. Listen in. Not only helps with how we feel in our bodies, it helps with how we feel in our minds and in our hearts and our energies. And so I hope that this will feed you and nourish you in the way that you need it today. And have a great day. See you soon.